Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha Vayeishev. The question of the week is, how can we be strong amidst our challenges? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha Vayeishev, we learn about the famous story where Joseph is sold into slavery by his brothers. Now his brothers sold him into slavery for 20 silver coins. Now we know that every 4 silver coins equals a shekel. So they basically sold him for 5 shekel. So the Talmud teaches us that because they sold Joseph for 5 shekel, 20 silver coins, therefore we have to create atonement. There's 2 types of atonement. One is where since each tribe got a half of a shekel, because they sold them for 5 shekels, so every tribe got a half of a shekel. Therefore, we give the matzahs a shekel, the half a shekel, to atone for selling Joseph. That's one atonement. The second thing is we know that since Joseph was the oldest to his mother Rachel, so he was the Bechor, so therefore till today, every male firstborn, you have to give 5 shekel to the Kohen, to the priest. So Rebbe asked the question, if the purpose for atonement, so we know we give matzah shekel, that's for atonement. And that's the purpose. It says in the Torah it's for atonement. But the 5 shekel that we give, to redeem the firstborn, that's because the firstborn is holy and it belongs to God. So what's the connection? And Rebbe explains a fascinating there, and he says as follows. That when the brothers sold Joseph into slavery, they were righteous people. How did they come to selling their brother into slavery? So the Rebbe explains that's because since God told Abraham that when he made the bond with him, that the Jewish people are going to go into exile, so the fact that the Jewish people went into exile, that's because God wanted, based on his plan, that we should go into exile and we should come out with tremendous wealth. So the whole plan of the brothers wanting to sell their brother was because God put that in their mind to accomplish his mission, and God was in agreement, and God orchestrated it. Not only that, but not only did God orchestrate it, God orchestrated in a way that the brothers should sell him, and since they sold him, they were actually partners with Joseph in Egypt, and therefore, even though Joseph was in Egypt, wasn't just that Joseph was in Egypt. Every single brother and God was with Joseph in Egypt on the pneumius, on the internal level. Externally, yes, we sold him and we went to Egypt and we were slaves in Egypt. But on a spiritual level, it was all part of God's plan for us to go down to Egypt, do what we had to do in Egypt, and come out with tremendous physical and spiritual and material wealth on all levels. So to answer the question, how can we be strong amidst all our challenges, is to know that whatever we're going through, it's God's plan so that he can give us great success after we overcome our challenges. Thanks for joining us. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated in the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. For more information, please see our website.